Hi there and welcome back to my channel. Right, so I've nearly finished my autumn/fall junk journal. It's taken a little bit longer than I anticipated, what with Christmas and everything being in the way, but this is the cover and it just needs some final touches to it. So it's a flexible, soft covering, and I quite like that because what happens is when you start making your journal, if you have a hard cover, it does tend to restrict how much ephemera and other bits and pieces, photos, stickers, things like that you can put in. And I'm one of these people that like to stuff them full of things, so I find a soft cover is actually better for me, for my crafting. So here I have, this is the inside, and I've got pieces of lace here that I have used to make little pockets. So for instance, we've got, I could put little tags in there, or cards, postcards, or I've got some vintage photos here that could fit in here. So I'm pretty much going to leave that as it is. I want to really finish off decorating the front cover. So this is the other side, and this has got lots of different fabrics. I'm a bit of a fabric hoarder as well, so lots of different scraps of autumn or fall coloured fabrics, scraps, vintage bits of laces. I felted some extra bits onto some leaves, which I've then put some beads on just to give it a little bit of shimmer. There's a red one there as well, some old vintage buttons, and I've got a little latch there for a hook thing to put some beads on. And this is a paper leaf that I've stitched on top of all these ribbons, and I did a little bit of little fancy stitching here on the machine, but you don't need that. You could actually hand stitch this all together if you don't have a machine. So that's kind of in the middle of this, just to make it a little bit stiffer. There is some fabric paper, which is basically tissue paper glued onto some fabric, and then you put the extra layer on top of it, and it just gives it a little bit more sturdiness to it. So what I would like to do, just to finish this off, is have some sort of form of closure. Now I found some sari silk here, which I want to use, probably attach them like that, so that there's plenty of space for all the bits to go in. This is actually, I've got 4 signatures here, so there's quite a lot of stuff. So it's obviously important when you do measure your bits of fabric and you make your outside, that you have plenty of space, because there's a lot to go in there. I'm pretty much finished the inside, a few tweaks here and there, but I'll do a full rundown of what's inside once I'm finished. So here we are. Right, on this side, I was just about to say, on here I was thinking what I could do, how to attach them would be to put a nice button, and I've got these all vintage shirt buttons. I thought might be quite fun to put, say, one of those and attach it, maybe use some orange cotton just to complement it a bit. So I'll probably do that on both sides, and then I can just tie it together so all my bits and pieces don't fall off. So that's one job still to do. On this side I've made some little paper shapes in a mold and painted them up. So we've got a moth there, got a bit of a little steampunk vibe in there, but he's going to go down here, and I've made 2 leaves as well. So I maybe put one there and one down here, and I like this because it just gives an extra texture and dimension to it, so a little bit of a 3D texture going on there. Now this one, I've put a little what do you call one of those little label in there, because I like to I like to name my journals, and this one, at the moment I'm doing colours. So for instance, I did a ocean one which I have called Indigo, and this one is going to be called Ochre. So I found these old transfer alphabet and numbers here. I think this must be, I don't know, my father had it before me, so I reckon I found it in his drawers, and I reckon this must be maybe 30 years old, but they still seem to work. So I'm just going to transfer some letters onto here, and I found an old necklace in a charity shop, and I thought actually that might be quite nice just to convert that to use as a little tassel here. So I shall probably put it on in a manner so that it can be detached if you're busy writing in the journal and you want to not have that sort of jingling about and taking up space on the writing board. Okay, so I'm going to do those few bits and pieces that I need to finish this off, and I'll show you the finished product. Okay, so here we are again. So I have popped the buttons on and sewed it with some £1.7. Gosh, no, I don't know where that came from. Probably a charity shop or somewhere. Anyway, it's actually kind of quite nice. I don't mind having a little bit of bling in it, but it is quite thin cotton, but it's fine. It's fine to sew with, and actually it gives you a little bit of shimmer in what is kind of quite a sort of a flat colours here. So that worked quite nicely. So here I've got plenty of space to put in, like I said, vintage cards. I think this is a postcard, nice little lady there, and I have some journaling cards. This is from my fairy kit. Sometimes you just want something that you don't have to embellish too much, so there's a little bit of prettiness without too much fuss, so they can go there. I have a little botanical postcard from Kew Gardens, tropical trees it says. I love it because the colours are really nicely matched. I might have to put that on because it's quite a big card. I'll tell you what, I'll put that there, and I'll put this little lady there, and a little tag I've made here that can go in here. So this side is pretty much finished. Clearly, you know, you could put extra bits and pieces at the top here, but what I didn't want it to do was to outshine the front cover, which is really the one that does the sort of pretty thing, as it were. So here we go. So the tag is now, the dangly bits are now in place, and you can detach that off if you want. I've got my little moth on, used a bit of super glue to that, so I've got to be a bit careful because it needs 24 hours to set. We've got the title in, and I think this is pretty much finished. Now I've got to really just put the signatures in, which is not one of those jobs that I really relish doing, especially when they're so full of bits and pieces. So I'll probably take a lot of this out. Actually, I'll probably take most of the loose bits out, and then I shall show you what the finished thing looks like in the end. Okay, enough for now. Hope you're having a good day. Bye for now.